Again, my name is Ron Seiter. I'm a Kentuckian and an American. I currently serve as the chairman of the Libertarian Party of Louisville. We're a young, growing, dynamic organization which seeks to protect and increase personal and individual liberty. In 1986, President Ronald Reagan said, "Government's view of the economy could be summed up in a few short phrases. If it moves, tax it. If it keeps moving, regulate it. And if it stops moving, subsidize it." While this has been the case for longer than I remember, this has never been more apparent than today. General Motors has been taxed, heavily regulated, and now heavily subsidized. We have spent at least $30 billion to save a company worth a mere $2 billion. It's atrocious to me. I don't know about you guys, but you know. The elected officials and the bureaucrats they appoint who take our liberties are paid full-time with our tax dollars to use our tax dollars in order to take away our liberties each and every day. Woo. We must fight this taking of our liberty on all fronts. We must speak loudly against deficit spending and bonding, which only shifts the burden to our children and our grandchildren. We must stop this debt, more than $232,000 for every man, woman, and child that is continuing to spiral out of control. And we must stop the infiltration of socialist thought which afflicts our country. In the early 20th century, industrialists such as Vanderbilt and Carnegie, who funded universities, libraries, and theaters, and other social ventures at their own expense, were labeled robber barons. However, politicians today who take the money from hard-working taxpayers to fund social projects are regaled with the title of philanthropist. We have fought for nearly a century against the socialist thoughts of foreign countries and cultures. But now, we wake each morning to the creeping socialism which pervades our own government. When President Reagan commanded Mikhail Gorbachev to tear down this wall, we did not expect the wall would fall upon us. We are not the Soviet Union, and we are not Europe. We are America. Land of the free, home of the brave. Men and women free of oppressive taxation. Men and women brave enough to stand up and say, no more. No more handouts, no more debt, and once and for all, you can read my lips, no more taxes. We do not need legislators that resort to taxes to solve financial woes. We need legislators that support the American dream, not try to manipulate, tax, and subsidize it. We must look to trim government, not expand it. It is time we put Uncle Sam on a diet. Yeah! Woo! Any legislator who fails to do so must pay the price. The ultimate penalty for elected officials is to lose re-election. To lose the... Woo! To lose the privilege to represent we the people. We must target those who expand government and deficits and replace them with solid, fiscally responsible, freedom-loving candidates. Woo! Now, the legislators know that this is the next step. They already fear us. They have tried to label us, discredit us, trivialize, and marginalize us. They've labeled our tea parties, our protests against new taxation and larger government, as the work of a group of extremists. If demanding transparency and accountability is extreme, then I proudly proclaim that I am an extremist. Barry Goldwater said it best when he proudly stated that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice. Thomas Jefferson said, "All tyranny needs to gain a foothold is for people of good conscience to remain silent." We are silent no more. We gather today, our Independence Day, to serve our official notice to our bloated, overbearing and out-of-touch government. Today, our voices are heard in Louisville, in Frankfort, throughout Kentucky, and all of America, from sea to shining sea. We are silent no more!